I'm Jackie.
And I'm Ashley. Welcome back to Dumb Witch Club.
We have a very, once again, exciting episode today.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not a controversial episode at all.
No. Well.
But I kind of feel like it is.
Now that you're saying it, it's making me think about it. I didn't think it was, but now that you're saying it.
No, and I don't know if I think it is. But people have very strong feelings about summer.
Yes, people have very strong feelings about summer.
And so do we.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a Leo, and it's my birthday soon, and hello.
It's your season.
It is. Mm-hmm. And I have a lot of things to say about it. So what we have coming up for you is a Hot Witch Summer Survival Guide.
Yeah. Because even if you have good feelings about it, you still need a survival guide. We need a survival guide for everything.
Yeah, because you have to survive it.
You do, and sometimes you don't know how.
Yes. So she was going to call it Hot Witch Summer, What Do I Do? I was like, it's pretty good. It's pretty close.
Just what came in my head. I don't know.
I know. But as usual, to get us into the right headspace, let's do a card pull.
Oh, yeah. Let's do a card pull.
What say you?
Well, I say that I brought the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle deck again because, I was trying to embrace that, summery energy. This deck is very warm.
Yes. Preach.
Come on, cards.
Am I pulling or are you pulling?
I'll pull.
Ooh, okay. Uh-oh. Mixing it up.
Yeah, I love this. This might be weird because I've been having really weird dreams. So
you have been. I know. Well, last week, I was having really weird vivid dreams. And now you are.
Yeah. Though there's stress-ish kind of dreams. Not super, super stressful where you're the whole next day you're it's on your mind or you're affected by it, but it weird though. I remembered it very vividly. A few of them. Mm-hmm.
Not like the nightmares, but just the chaotic ones where you're in it and you're just what is even happening?
And it feels very real.
Well, but you're also, yes, because you're also not oh, this is a dream. You're what is this life?
Because at times I can be oh, this is a dream.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
Oh. I love it. Okay.
Feeling chaotic. Let's do it.
Okay. Honey.
Ooh.
I know. The sweetness of you swells in the grace of your pull. Oh, so beautifully lethal.
Oh my God, that is so sexy. And I feel like this could have been part of our power throuple from earlier. Honey. Super hot.
Oh, this is Hot Witch. This is giving. This is really giving.
It really is.
Hot Witch Summer, Hot Human Summer was what we were saying before.
Yes.
But this is very much giving that.
Yes.
And I feel like that is very much setting the stage for exactly what we need this to be and the energy we want to pull in for this. So
Bring it.
Bring it.
Summer, we're ready for you.
Love some honey.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I love hot honey.
Yes.
Hot honey's so good. It's so good.
The best.
It's the best. All right, I'm satisfied. Are you?
Quite.
Love it. Perfect. Yay! And it's got little honeybees on the back. They're actually on the back of all the cards, but I think that's very cool. Alrighty.
So coming up next, we have our Why Though.
Yeah, let's talk about why though.
So this is, for me, it's a pretty exciting why though. Because there's always things happening,
yeah,
like we say. And sometimes there's not major things happening, and sometimes there's things happening way off in some of the further out, asteroids, which are still important.
Right.
But anyways, I feel I don't feel like it's actually true. On July 10th, there's a couple of major things happening.
Tell us what they are, Jackie.
Okay, so the first one is that Mars is going into Virgo. And that means Mars has been in Leo, which we have discussed already.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way that I'm conceptualizing this, there's always different ways to interpret the energies that are shifting or changing or happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like, well, actually, because I feel like the way that I've interpreted this is probably a little different.
Okay.
So would you mind saying your thoughts on this first?
Yeah, sure.
And I'll see if they are different from what I thought.
I love that. And I love that they're, that is a good point that you make. There are different ways to interpret these things. And, you know, sometimes with why, though, we sort of pick kind of the middle ground and we kind of go with the theme and, you know, we present what we present. But it is always up to you to interpret sort of how it's resonating for you, because they hit different points in your own natal chart. So, yeah, my Mars is actually in Virgo. So, yeah. Kind of
I mean, I guess I did know that, but I feel shocked to hear it in this moment.
Yeah. So what I'm feeling for this is like, I feel like since we just had the full moon in Capricorn, I feel like that lended kind of that earthy energy, that kind of like grounding a little bit, right? Like energy to like get you back and like kind of release the things you needed to. And I feel like for me, the Mars going into Virgo, I feel like it lends even more of a like a drive and an organization to like the things you want to do moving forward. And just another kind of grounding, earthy energy to be able to like move forward with things.
Yes, totally. Okay. Yes, 100%. It's all there. It makes sense. And I don't think what my thought is not like opposed to that.
Okay.
But I was really seeing this, and I think this just speaks to like all of my Leo energy. Okay. I was seeing this as a war on perfection.
Oh.
That Mars is coming in, and rather than kind of blowing up the perfectionistic, like let's get organized, go with it if you want to. Or my favorite thing to do always, it's the Aries rising here, is like oppose that. So my thought was, it's actually a war on perfection. It is a challenge for you to look at places in your life where maybe you have perfectionism or you expect too much from yourself, and really challenge those beliefs and the reasons that you have them. And it doesn't have to be a war like in the negative sense, but that's really how I was taking this time of year and this shift.
Absolutely. That's amazing, because what I said was really like the light side of things, right? And what you're bringing up is the shadow side of things. And like, yeah, that's very important to consider both sides. And that is the shadow side of Virgo, is they can get very lost up, you know, caught up in perfectionism and everything needing to be a certain way. So
yeah, and then I think Mars bringing in this like war on it.
Yes.
You know, like be aware of the shadow side, and also actively go against it if you feel pulled like you need that in your life.
Yeah, I like that.
I also just feel like it goes with like hot everything every one summer.
Yeah, but spicy.
Yes, right? Exactly. It really is. It's like, and again, sort of pulling in my own like million Leo placements, but like, be you, do you. Like, you know, look at where you hold yourself to standards that you maybe don't need to be, and let yourself be enough and be good enough. And yeah.
Great. I love that.
Love it.
Great advice. I wrote it down.
Thanks. Okay. Other big event on July 10th?
Mercury enters Leo.
Yes.
And it's conjunct to Mars. So that's even more spice to what you said.
Yes. No, exactly. And I think, so my Mercury is in Leo. And so I saw this as communication on fire.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So your communication, or the communication of folks around you, is going to become, you know, louder, bolder, more individualized. You might be speaking your mind. And then, when that sort of like lines up with that Mars, and even that concept of looking at where are places in your life where perfectionism is maybe harming you, it's like, boom, it's like out of a cannon.
Yeah, it is, because the Leo energy really helps you to like let that shit go, you know, like it really does. And I think like the other thing with this, I think people don't often think about it, but I know I've pointed it out, and I've pointed it out in terms of talking about you too, is like, remember that Leo has that heart. Don't just focus on, oh, it's me on a pedestal, and, you know, I'm a diva and whatever. Like, that's not everything. Like, Leo has that, it really comes from a place of knowing and understanding that intuition. So use that to speak up for yourself and the things that matter to your heart. Yeah, because that's what, you know, that's a great opportunity to be able to do that.
I'm like, thank you for reminding me of that part of it. Because I'm just like, I'm here, I'm gonna do it. Like, but it's totally true. And especially if you don't naturally have a lot of that energy in your chart, it is
Yeah.
available to you to draw to yourself during this time.
Mm-hmm. And do it.
And any time for that matter.
Draw it in, honey. Attract it.
Ooh,
Right?
love.
Such a good card.
Love it. Okay, what else we got?
I have a small little thing. Yeah.
Bring it.
Venus is quincunx Neptune on July 15th. Everyone gets tripped up over the quincunx, also because the word is weird.
It's cool.
Weird.
It's like if you had those letters in Scrabble, you would like win the game.
Yeah,
It's
and
so
people would be
amazing.
like, that's not
That's
real.
not a word.
Mm-hmm. And then you'd show them that it was astrology, and they'd be like, still, it's not.
It's definitely not a real word
I
then.
know, so rude.
I know, so
Don't
rude.
let them do that. It's a word.
No, it is a word.
But yes, you mentioned it last time with Neptune. You're like,
and Venus.
Neptune's going to be just like messing with us for like
Yes.
quite a while. And this is how I took it. Again, if you take it differently, that's what I want to hear. But that's kind of how I took it, because a quincunx is kind of like, we never want to say things are like incompatible, because you can always work through whatever is there.
Yes.
But in terms of like cooperative energy, this is probably the most opposite to cooperative that you can be. It's very just like, we do not see eye to eye. These energies just, I don't know. So it can be frustrating. But just, just evaluate when you're having these kind of emotional feelings. You want to have maybe like emotional outbursts, maybe because of the other things that are going on. Just be careful to make sure that you understand exactly what's going on, and they're not getting too much into your feels and kind of like losing the plot. So
No, and that is good advice. And no, I see the same way. I think, Venus is in Leo.
Yeah.
Again, like we've said, she's trying to do her thing. She's trying to bring, the self and the identity and the love and the passion.
Yeah.
And then Neptune's like,
it's trying to dampen it.
yes. And trying to be like, yeah, but what about all this other deep stuff? And she's like,
Yeah. Well, and like Jackie says, so if you want to be like, then just do that and embrace that self-love and that heart and be like, whatever, I don't need to hear from you right now, Neptune. Like, you're going to be back. I know you are. So, like, whatever, just like chill over there.
He is going to be back,
He's
too.
gonna be back, like a million times. So you can do that. If you do, if you feel pulled and you're like, okay, maybe I do want to like go a little deeper.
True.
You can, but just be careful, because that can get down there.
Well, yeah, and I would also say maybe if that is something, which we all ought to do at some point, I will admit,
Yes.
is, go super deep and like all of that. But maybe wait till it's not a quincunx. Wait until there's like a trine or, some other kind of more favorable energy for that type of reflection.
Yes. And remember, too, that, like, when we say that, we don't mean ignore it and just, like, stuff it down. That's not it. You can still feel the feelings you're having, but if you're not ready to process them, like Jackie said, you can save that for another time. You can always write them down. You can write it down, fold up the paper away from you, kind of place it somewhere else until it's a better time. Then deal with it. It's going to be there.
Yes.
Just like Neptune's going to be there. So it's not going to hurt you to do that. You can do whatever makes you feel comfortable and what makes you feel safe.
Yeah, and I think you can put anything off as long as you come back to it. Because you can't keep putting things off forever. That is not going to work.
No.
But you can put them off until you feel strong enough, until you feel ready, until you feel grounded enough, whatever.
Absolutely.
And then go back.
Yeah,
Go back
you
to
do
it.
have to go back. That is a good point, because if you don't sometimes make yourself uncomfortable, you're not going to grow. So eventually you do, but it might not be the right time, and that's totally fine. I would get that if you didn't want to, because all that other energy is so juicy, right? It's honey. Like, you don't want to be like pouring water on that right now.
No,
I don't want to.
I don't want to, so.
So we won't. So Neptune, just, take a number.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to you later, so.
That's right.
Very
Good
nice.
why, though. It's a nice why, though.
It's a really good why, though. I'm feeling it. I love
Me
it.
too. I'm feeling it, too. I like it. All right.
You know what else I'm feeling?
What are you feeling?
Big witch energy! Hot Witch Summer Survival Guide.
Hot witch summer. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
why are we even doing this? Why do we need a
summer.
survival guide for summer?
Summer, about that.
About that.
Yeah.
So we have a history with summer.
Yeah, we have a history of summer. We have a past. Summer and us have a past.
Yeah, which literally everyone does.
Literally everyone does.
Comes around every year.
It's a contentious thing.
Yeah.
We used to hate it. We used to hate it. as close as you can get to those sort of Victorian pictures of women like laying on fainting couches and just languishing was what we would literally do. It's not figurative, okay? I mean literally. We would be sort of on Jackie's like L-shaped sectional, just like dying.
Or I can vividly remember a time like laying on the couch like that, just like, like on the phone with you, and like my phone is like here, and I'm just like, I can't, like dead.
Yeah. We would just be like making noises back and forth to each
yes.
other.
I'd be like, are you there? She's like, yeah. Are you there? Yeah, I'm here. Like, I'm here.
Yeah, it was awful.
I know. So it's hot.
It's hot.
And it's just hot.
It's just hot. And like some years have been like super really just very hot. And we were annoyed.
And other years were less hot, still hot.
Still annoying.
We were annoyed.
And of course, people right now are going, weren't you the two that were just talking about how it's raining all the time and like you need sun?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we were. That was us. And what about it?
Yeah.
We want it perfect, okay?
Every day.
Don't blame us.
Settle for nothing less.
Yes, so we had a history. We hated it, and
but we could go on and on. But the point is, we put intention toward this.
Yes, we did.
And I would say we turned it around.
We did turn it around. And if you want a lot more detail on that and more about our backstory and stuff like that, watch our backstory episode. It's the pre-Halloween backstory episode. Scroll way back.
Yes. So we're not going to get like all the way into it because it is
we already did. Yeah.
And we may retell it in the future in a different way. But
sure.
So that's kind of where this idea of Hot Witch Summer Survival Guide comes from, was that we knew and we know there are you out there still who, this is a time of year that's really hard.
Yeah, it is.
Although it's also a time of year that a lot of people, especially harkening back to childhood, like you had summer vacation and that was like an amazing and fun time of year.
Exactly.
People still tend to go on vacation a lot during this time. And so it's a mixed bag like everything else.
It is. And because of that, I think it's a little disorienting.
Well, and it is. And I think it is confusing at times.
It is. And we have been confused. And it's not like we are just perfect at it now and it's like, oh, we figured it out and we're amazing. No, it's still not our fave, right? It's still not our fave. But it's not a lot of people's, and that's also why we're doing this, because I see that everywhere. People are like, but especially goths and witches, like, just posting about this, like, this is oppressive. Like, how am I supposed to wear all black when, like, I'm dying? Like,
it's true. And then you, run the risk of catching a tan out there?
Yeah, rude.
Can't.
I know.
Hate it.
I do everything to avoid that. Still happens to me.
So, okay, we have some ideas.
We have ideas. We have tips.
We do. So I just want to say I organize this in my brain the way I do with a lot of things. Is I have some ideas on reinforcing the energy.
Yes.
And some ideas on reversing the energy.
I think I kind of did the same thing. I don't know if I put them in order, but yes. Same-ish. Yeah.
So what if we start with reinforcing the energy?
Okay, love that.
Okay, so I think the first easiest thing to think about in this, and it does make sense, I know we're still in Cancer season, but it makes sense that we go into Leo season, which the sun rules Leo.
Yes.
And the sun is high in the sky in summer. Yeah. So sort of drawing on that sun planet, energy.
Yeah.
I think that is the reinforcing the energy kind of vibe.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep. So how do you do that?
Well, I mean, I think you can do sun rituals. You can go out in the sun.
Yes.
You can, I'm trying not to go into the other side of the other ideas that I have that kind of go with it. But just things that are literally about sun or fire, also representing the sun.
Yep. Yeah. I try to get outside as much as possible. That's one thing. And kind of remind myself and remember, if I'm outside and I'm able to eat on an outdoor patio or something like that, or do a picnic or whatever it is that you might like to do. Not just doing it, but also make it a spell, make it a thing, have a little bit more intention with that. It doesn't have to be major. You don't have to be doing stuff in front of people, but just acknowledging I am outside right now and this is amazing and this solar energy is really filling me up, and I'm going to remember this when it's cold and wintry and rainy and things like that, and I can't be outside with, you know, Aperol spritzes on a patio.
Yes. No, you're exactly right. And I think it's like we always talk about, your intentions are spells.
Yes.
And so if you go out and you even have a moment of thinking like, I am basking in the glory of this warmth and feeling it on my skin and enjoying, like, yes, that is it. That is the moment.
Yes.
I love that. So using the sun in that way, as in just simply going out in it, creating a ritual out of anything you wanted with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree. The other thing, well, and I guess I already mentioned fires, but I think a thing that people do a lot, especially in beach areas, is like a bonfire. Just a lot of ways to kind of bring in that fire energy, barbecuing, grilling, you know, food outside, which kind of like just still incorporates what we're talking about. Just using things with fire.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I love using fire. I feel like I do a lot more sort of like candle work and like fire spells and stuff like in the summer. I don't know. It's just something about all that abundant light. I feel like I just want to harness it even more and like use it even more. So yeah, I love that.
And the other idea that I had was about clearing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I think that we're talking about energy clearing, which we've talked about in a whole other episode, and really linking that with, so the time of year of summer, it's not a growing season. It's not a harvest season.
No.
It's not a hibernation in winter, you know, kind of like dormant season.
Right.
But it is the time that, you know, in ancient times, farmers would have harvested or, you know, planted their seeds.
Yes.
And they're cleaning up and maintaining the growth.
Yeah.
And it got challenging because it was hot
Right.
and, you know, the sun is out. And so it's really a time of kind of holding on to what you have started and seeing it through to the end. And I think as much as we've talked already about Leo energy, that really reflects the Cancer energy that's present in summer and really initiates the beginning of summer with that Cancer energy.
That like abundance energy. And,
Yes.
Yeah. I
So
love
sort of that concept of like clearing energy, of making space for the growth to happen and to continue happening.
I love that. And I feel like you can do that physically, obviously, like with your example, like you can do it physically. You can also do it, you know, you could do it in looking at what is coming up. Like maybe if you're focused on like the lunar cycles, right? Because that's kind of the easier thing to focus on, whatever it is that you're kind of looking at. But that's a good place to start, and sort of looking at when, you know, when are the new moons and the full moons, maybe even some of the quarter moons. And then projecting that forward like through the season, and then deciding on like, okay, what am I going to clear and what am I going to plant? What am I going to clear? What am I going to plant?
Yes.
To lead you into autumn kind of feeling like you did that.
Yes, and sometimes what you've already planted, you need to still continue to clear the space for that to grow.
That's right, because it might be just proliferating.
Yes, exactly. So, yes, what else?
I love that. I did make a note of doing shadow work in the summer. I feel like the summer kind of lends itself to, as much as you know you feel like you can and all those kind of disclaimers, but because there is so much light,
Yes.
cast a lot of shadows.
Yes, exactly. I love
Right?
that.
Yeah.
So it's like literal, and then you take the figurative, the spiritual aspect of that, right?
Yeah. And I think it's good, and it goes kind of along with the theme that you were just talking about too, where it's like a good thing to kind of confront those things, right? And make sure that you're clearing out the stuff that needs to be cleared, and that you're sort of focusing on what you want to focus on. And like, because the idea too is like, we hit the peak where the days were the longest. Now we're on the other side of that.
Correct.
So, you know, we are thinking about that. Like, that is going to come, and it's going to come faster than you even think that it's going to.
Yes.
So digging into some of those deeper, you know, shadow areas might be a good idea.
Yes, and I love that. And I'm also thinking in terms of like sort of relating to that, but in a literal way. I know there's this concept of like spring cleaning, and I agree with like opening your windows finally in the spring, like that feels so amazing.
Yeah.
But for me, because of like being, you know, part of the school system for so long, and, you know, having kids in school and things like that, the summer was always the time when it was like, we have time, we're not in school, we are cleaning out your room, we are cleaning up. So I just feel like that is such a literal demonstration of some of these concepts. And it clears your soul to get rid of things that no longer serve you, that you don't need anymore, that somebody else could benefit from, that you don't use anymore. Totally. So I just feel like if you're looking for like a tangible way to execute that, that is also a spell. That is also a ritual.
Yeah, I love that too, because you really think your past self when your present self is in autumn and is so ready for that new season, and especially those of us that really embrace and love it and everything. You're so ready for newness in a way, and just you don't want that energy hanging around. And I feel like day by day, as we get closer, we start to feel more and more like that. And so it's good. Yeah, like embrace that and like start going through your stuff. Because again, it's already July. Before you know it, it's going to be August and time to go back to school. And
yes. So now I'm thinking, well, do you have more that kind of fits in this camp of reinforcing and embracing the energy?
Not particularly. I mean, other than like, it's kind of what you already said, like, in terms of like when you were a kid, the way you thought about summer, right?
Oh, just like trying to remember that and like have a nice feeling.
Yeah, like trying to embrace the like the little childlike joys. If you want a popsicle, like if you want to go to the Michoacana, go. Like get a popsicle, right? Yeah. Just one, like that's, and if you do it one time, who cares? Like you do that. Or like if there's a sprinkler going and kids are running through it and you're like, I really kind of like want to do that. That looks fun. Do that. Or just, there were things we really did love about summer, and I can feel that place like inside me. I for sure can.
Yes. And that again is very Leo energy. It's that very like, sort of childlike, still. Anyways, I love that. That's very sweet. Yeah. Have an ice cream cone. Non-dairy, whatever.
It's cute. Whatever you want.
It's cute.
I
really love that. So, so then in terms of sort of reversing the energy or working with the not opposing, but like opposite. So my first thought with that was actually something that you already started to mention, which was really cluing in to the moon, just in terms of the moon being the opposite of the sun.
It's really good advice.
And the nighttime being like the time that is cooler during the summer. And it's always, like we have said, so simple to actually follow the phases of the moon. It's really accessible information.
Yeah, it is.
And so that can be a place. And you can do both of these, obviously.
Yes.
You can worship the sun during the day, and you can thank, the moon at night. Like, you totally can. So that was sort of the first way that I saw of, like, using the reverse energy.
I really like that. And I mean, my goodness, like, how powerful would that be, too, if you really are doing both?
Yes.
I mean, that's incredible. And I honestly don't think that there's another time of year where you're really able to do that. Because in the winter, the sun part, like, you don't really have it. Maybe the moon part you do. But even then, it's a little cold. I don't know. Like, I really feel like my comfort level, like, informs how much I do. And summer nights are comfortable.
Yes.
Like, you feel like, I don't know, you feel like doing, like, more. And that you can embrace that a little bit more. So,
yes. And I think it also just plays in, again, like, to this Cancer and Leo energies that both exist. In the beginning months of summer.
Oh, that's so true too. I love that. That's very cool. That's very, very cool.
Yes.
Well, obviously water.
Yay.
Yeah, obviously water.
Yes.
And so using water, making moon water, which goes along with your idea, really like focusing on the moon. So I love that, making moon water. Showers.
Moon water just means that you put a jar, any kind of vessel, but something that can seal up is usually helpful. You just put it out overnight, and it sort of absorbs the energy and the light of the moon.
Yep.
And then you can use that in spells and things, just in case people don't know what moon water is.
Yeah, if you want to make that, it's great. We use it in all kinds of spell work.
Totally.
And you can use it to cleanse crystals that are safe to use with water, and you
yes,
can do all kinds of stuff with it.
Yes.
So you can drink it. Jackie drinks it.
Yes, I know. If you use just like water that you would drink anyways, you can drink it after it's moon water.
Yeah, you totally do all kinds of things with it, and obviously that's using that kind of like you can make sprays. I don't know why I can't think of like
Yes.
Like cleansing sprays.
Yes.
Yes, with like maybe other summer ingredients. Like I love honeysuckle.
Oh my gosh, honeysuckle.
Honeysuckle.
Yes.
Yes, I love
And then you can
honeysuckle.
use it like to refresh yourself.
Yes.
If it's like, safe for that,
Yeah,
what your
exactly.
ingredients, or you can use it as a room spray.
Yeah, you can use it as like a cleansing spray. And
Yes.
try to use like the other ingredients that maybe like really harness that sun energy or that you don't see other times of year. Like I feel like honeysuckle for me is one of those.
I love it.
Sunflower, even lavender. Lavender's a very summer.
Yeah, well, I feel like jasmine plays into
Jasmine.
that.
Oh, I'm obsessed with jasmine.
Yes, and it blooms like early summer, and it smells, and it blooms. The fragrance at night is amazing. So yes, jasmine I think lends to that. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can make those. So yeah, that's something I had for kind of like the opposite energy.
Yes, and I think also for me, just sort of in the same vibe of like the opposite energy. So we talked about clearing and cleaning and cleansing. I think you're bringing in that opposite energy when you're doing like all of that busy stuff. You're clearing space so that when you're done with that, you have space. And then I think you can rest. And that's sort of that opposite energy too, like the busy kind of, really active sun energy. And then always bringing in, doing both, like we said, recognizing that there's also an opportunity to access that resting place, that satisfaction place of like, look at what I have done, look at how long I had this whole day. And, now I'm worthy of rest.
I love that because even in lending with our hot witch summer, right? Hot human summer theme.
Yeah.
And our discussion of like spells around that, including our witching hour power thruple.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
Episode, which is pretty spicy, if I do say so myself. Might want to check that out.
Yeah.
And as you were talking, it was making me think about that. Like, if you're having a hot witch summer, you're having a hot human summer, like, you need to make sure you're on point. Like, your attraction spell, your love spells, those are great to do, but part of that, too, is, like, that self-care and that rest, like, no one wants a tired witch. No one wants the, do the eye patches, do the masks, do the dry brushing, do the body oil.
It's called beauty rest for a reason.
Do all the things.
It takes hours of sleep to look this good.
Yes. Drink the water.
Yes.
Drink all the water.
Yes.
No one wants a dehydrated witch either.
No, not at all.
So, really important along with, sort of the freaky stuff I know y'all are doing and all the candle magic and whatever else you guys hit us up with in the DMs about how do I make him Along with that, do those other things that you already know how to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And I think hot witch summer, hot human summer really does. It comes to self-care and you got to be all in your glory to get that other human that you're hoping to get.
Yeah, you can't languish on Victorian fainting couches and just rue the days. So you just start using like Victorian language. It just starts happening. Like
no,
you can't. You can. We did, but it didn't do anything for us.
No, and so that's why we learned some things. Yeah. We wanted to teach you some things, and I don't know. I just feel like all of this is so helpful, and I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it too. I feel refreshed. I feel renewed. You gave me some things.
You gave me some things.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think our big witch energy was well used in this episode.
I agree. I feel good about it.
I feel amazing.
What's next?
Spell of the week. Yay, we didn't forget this time.
Yay.
So, coming at you with the spell of the week. So this is a summer spell for letting go.
Okay, I'm excited about this.
And I think this spell really brings in many of the things that we were just talking about and mentioning. So my vision, vision for this spell is that you would be at a beach or a lake.
Okay.
If you are not able to access those locales, you can do a version of it anyways. But this is my vision, okay? So you're at the beach. Okay. Maybe you're with people. Maybe you went by yourself. But what you are to do is you go for a walk alone. And you're walking along the beach. You're feeling the sand. You're feeling the water. There's salt in the water if you're at the beach. And, obviously the sand is the earth, and you're feeling the sea breeze, which is the air, so you have all the elements present there for you. So you go for a walk alone. as you're walking, you're going to be scanning the beach, and you're going to be looking for a little pebble or a stone or a seashell or something that you find on the beach, something natural that stands out to you. So when you find it, it will call to you. You will pick it up, and I just want you to hold it. And you're going to keep walking, and you're going to think about something that you need to let go. What could that be? Okay, you tell me, right? But I'm thinking, it could be a relationship. It could be feelings left over from a relationship.
Okay.
It can be guilt or shame about things that you need not hold guilt and shame for. It could be grief over a loss. It could be negative self-talk. It could be people-pleasing. Okay? You add it on to this list. Whatever you need to let go of. So you're going to walk, you're going to think about it, you're going to turn this little stone over in your hand. And when you feel ready, you're simply going to toss it into the water. Obviously, make sure there's no person that you're going to strike with this object, okay? We're talking about healing here. I feel like I have to add these disclaimers, but you get the idea. You are letting go physically and figuratively. And that is my idea. So if you were not able to do this spell at an actual location like I was envisioning, you could certainly do a version of this in your home, in your neighborhood. You can. I would still recommend go on a walk, find a little rock or an object, and just toss it into a field or into, a blank space or even your own yard. Just toss it somewhere where you are getting rid of it. So anyways.
I really love that, and I really love how it incorporates all the elements into it. Like, it's almost like calling the corners without, necessarily, traditionally doing that, but you're sort of doing that.
Yes.
I really, really like that a lot.
Yes. So that is our summer spell for letting go.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Obsessed.
I like this, too. So, that was a ride.
Yeah.
Thank you, darling. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Until next time.
Stay witchy, friends.
And stay dumb.
Dumb Witch Club is written and produced by us, Ashley Sidner.
And Jackie Gerard at the Dumb Witch Clubhouse in Orange County, California.
Produced and edited by Matt Heinemeyer. Creative Director and Culture Consultant, Violet Turner.
Original music by Ashley Sidner. And look us up on all your favorite social media platforms, including Patreon.
Until next time, stay witchy, friends.
And stay dumb.